So next step on our list is to find the numbers for refunds. Now this is still the payments report from Shopify. In order to find the refunds amount, we're going to move over to the payouts report that we downloaded in the lesson 2 of module 6. Here's the payouts report that we previously downloaded. Now you will notice that even though payout date says July 1st and July 5th, 2022, I went ahead and highlighted these deposits as red. The reason why is because in your Shopify dashboard, when I clicked on these payments to see which transactions were included in them, I noticed that they were composed of only June transactions. So we're not going to include those deposits in our July journal entry. I'm going to go ahead and gray them out. So next, what we want to do here, where it says refunds, super easy. Now, before we move forward, in Shopify, in order to find out which transactions are included in a given deposit, what you would want to do in the payouts report, we're still in the payouts report, this is our date range, July 1st to August 3rd. What you're going to want to do is right click, again, open link in new tab. You will land on this page. Now, when you scroll all the way down, you'll see this there's one transaction from July 31st in that deposit. So you're gonna want to be mindful whenever you're reflecting your journal entry, but you'll see here that there's no refunds. So we don't necessarily have to worry about this now. I'm going to show you in a different lesson how you would have to record the transaction. Let's say if there was a refund for July that was not refunded until August, right? That was not refunded until as part of a August payout. So I'm going to show you that separately, but here we don't have to worry about it because there are no refunds that we need to account for here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to drag it down. So my refunds are going to be 5540.5. I'm going to go back to my Excel journal entry, 5540.5. And this is how we find the numbers for our refunds. Okay, so I want to show you an example of how to reflect a transaction if, let's say, there was a refund for a previous month that was deducted from a deposit in the next month. So here's an example where if we look at, this is a payout that was made on June 2nd. The payout is, negative $335.24. What that means is rather than depositing money into your checking account, Shopify took money out of your checking account. Now, if we look at the transactions that make up that $335.24, you'll see that there was a large refund in June. Essentially, you had these May transactions along with this huge June 1st refund, which meant that you owed Shopify money. So what you would do in this case is the following. Because this transaction included May sales, however, it happened in June, we automatically know that it needs to be categorized to the payout clearing account. So this is a transaction here in the payout clearing account. $335.24. Now you'll see here this $960 left over. So there's this balance in the account. It's this refund that we need to take care of. Now, the way you do that is by reflecting it in the journal entry, in the monthly journal entry. So I'm going to open this Shopify journal entry that I have already reflected for June. Okay, so in this Shopify journal entry, we're going to follow the same methodology as previously shown. So you're going to find your gross sales, you're going to find your refunds. Okay, now, side note on the refund, I'm coming back to it. you're going to find your Shopify payments clearing, your Shopify payout, your Shopify fees. Once you've done that, we're going to add that $960 as a credit. What the credit is going to do is cancel out the $960 balance in the payout clearing account. And we're going to add that $960 to refunds. Why are we adding it to refunds? Because it is a refund for a transaction in the month of June. And this journal entry is from June. So that is how you would mitigate, this kind of wonky transaction from Shopify. So we're going to continue building our Shopify journal entry. Next step is finding the numbers for the Shopify payments clearing account. We're going to go back to our payouts report. I mentioned this in a previous video, however, I want to highlight it again. The only transactions that should be coded or categorized to the Shopify payments clearing account are transactions for the month of July. So right now, we are reflecting a journal entry for July 2022. Any Shopify deposits in your bank account that include July sales should be coded to the Shopify payments clearing account. So make sure that that is noted. Now what we're going to do, we're going to select the amounts that Shopify deposited in our checking account that includes sales made in July only. So it's, again, July 6th to July 28th. I went ahead and I checked in my Shopify dashboard, and I know for sure that these deposits only include July 2022 sales. So total amount is 56,570.11. I'm going to go ahead and reflect this amount in my journal entry. All right, so this is how we find the data for our Shopify payments clearing account. See you in the next video. Next on the list, it's going to be finding the data for the Shopify payout clearing account in our journal entry. So we're going to go back to the payout reports from Shopify. Okay, so as you can see, I went ahead and highlighted in green the numbers that we've already reflected, or the numbers that we've already accounted for in our journal entry. Now, notice that fees are not highlighted, and that's because they're coming up next. But again, just to make this visually appealing, these transactions, the returns, we've already reflected. The Shopify deposits for July transactions, we've already reflected. Now moving on to these 3 transactions. Now, to clarify, the payout clearing account is essentially where any money that Shopify owes you will stay. You will be coding any transactions that Shopify, or any amount that Shopify owes you in that account. So let's say that you've made a sale on July 31st or July 29th. However, Shopify has not deposited that amount until maybe August 5th. So on July 31st, as you're reflecting your journal entry, you need to account for that sale that you made in July, even though you haven't received the payment yet from Shopify. So that leftover balance that Shopify owes you, that is coming in August, you will be adding that amount in the Shopify payout clearing account. Okay? So again, in our Shopify dashboard, which I've already showed you how, I've already confirmed that this deposit includes only July sales. I've also confirmed that this deposit from August 2nd includes only July sales. Now, for this deposit from August 3rd, I noticed that there's one transaction from July 31st. And then the rest of the transactions, including this deposits, are from August. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I mean. This is the deposit from August 3rd, $3,846.78. As you can see from the top here, mostly August transactions. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see there's one July transaction. This is why it's so important to click and open, to click on these deposits and open in a new tab and revise and make sure that you're catching these, because one transaction from July that could have been buried. And we want to make sure, again, we're reflecting our sales accordingly, because we want to make sure that we're double checking our work, which I'm going to be showing you in another video, because ultimately we want to be paying Uncle Sam the right amount of money and not more. And the way we do that is by double checking our work and cross-referencing, which again, I will show in the next video. Okay, so for this transaction on July 31st, the net deposit was $242.23. And the fee for that transaction, or the fee associated with that transaction, was $6.77. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract that net deposit as well as that fee from the payout of August 3rd. I went ahead and added the numbers here in order to make it easier to visualize. So what we're going to do for now, we're going to highlight these transactions red. The reason why is because we want to make sure that we're not accounting for them whenever we're totaling the numbers for our payout clearing account. So I'm going to select, press Command, and then select this as well, which is going to give me this number, which is $10,475.73. That number is what I will be adding to my journal entry for the Shopify payout clearing account. Okay, perfect. So I'll see you in the next slide. Next up, we're going to find the numbers for our Shopify fees account to finish building our journal entry. We're going to go back to our payouts report. Now, again, as you can see here, I went ahead and highlighted these transactions blue. We went ahead and recorded these transactions under the Shopify payouts clearing account. In order to find the numbers for the fees, we're going to select all the fees that are associated with July sales transactions. I'm going to press Command, and I'm going to select this $6.77 that stems from the last July 31st transaction that was part of this August 3rd deposit here. I'm also going to select this $3.50 adjustment. Shopify typically, they charge you a fee per transaction, but they also charge you sometimes credit card fees. So bear that in mind, that you could have more fees that are more fees than what is currently listed on this report, just FYI. So total for fees is $2,094.91. You notice here there is a discrepancy between the debit and the credit. Now you'll notice that the debits and your credits don't balance. This discrepancy stems from credit card fees that Shopify is charging you. So what I would recommend doing is booking the difference under Shopify fees. So in this case, total fees would be $20.98.06. Perfect. So our total fees for the month are $2,101.21. So now our debits and our credit match. So I would recommend going ahead and reflecting this journal entry in QuickBooks. Perfect. So in QuickBooks, this is the exact same journal entry, and this is how it should look. All right, I'll see you in the next lesson.